Hey, what's up, champions? This video was me speaking to a group of about 50 or 60 college rodeo athletes. I know if you want to go to the next level with your mindset, with your mental toughness, you will not want to miss part 2, because a lot of the things in part 2 that I didn't talk about in part 1, by the way, if you didn't see part 1, click the link in the description, go check it out. I cover in part 2, plus a live Q&A where they ask me anything and everything, and I come and I deliver and bring value to them. So check out the video. Let me know what you think in the comments. And if you get value from it, go ahead, like and subscribe. We'll see you soon. Enjoy. I'm a 40-year-old dude. I'm not tall. Never had like a muscular physique. I'm not the fastest. I am definitely not the best looking, even though I got a smoking hot wife. I'm not the best father, but I try to be. How the hell did I become a multimillionaire, build businesses, and become a world champion? What was the difference? It's the will to keep going. Never quit. Never give up. Because that's it. That's the differentiating factor. Went broke several times trying to make it rodeoing. Like, I'm backed in the box so many times, not knowing how the hell I was going to get home because I didn't have money. It happened so many times. So if you're struggling with anything that I've talked about, it's part of the journey. The responsible ones will say, come home and get a job, make some money. What I would tell you is keep going and figure out how to make money on the road while you're chasing your dream. In the digital age, my friends, you can make a lot of money traveling the road while learning how to ride bucking horses like Stetson Wright. Don't go back where it's comfortable. Go the path less traveled, knowing and expecting it could take 3 years, 4 years, 5 years, 6 years, and watch the fruit come. You want to talk about working out? This guy right here is a stud. He could crush me like that. If I was trying to get where he is, I would go learn from him. You can attach yourself to mentors like that. I'm close to presidential candidates, CEOs of billion-dollar companies, all this stuff simply because I was different. I met him at an event. Hey, nice to meet you. Why do you wear the pink shirt? Oh, I do it for breast cancer aware. I did it for my stepmother. Oh, that's cool. Yeah, no big deal. Go to their secretary. Hey, what's the address? I would like to send him a gift. Oh, magically, a wicked cool belt buckle with their company logo shows up at their office 2 weeks later. It cost me a couple $100, but it solidified that relationship. You don't have to do it with the belt buckle. You could do it with effort. You could do it with showing up and working for free. You can do it. There's a million different ways. But if you want to get to somebody, if you want to know somebody that is just slightly above you, come with the giving hand. Don't come with, I need, because they're going to push you away, because that's what everybody else does. You come with the giving hand. How can I help you? How can I serve you? How can I make your life better? They will bring you on the team. That will work every time. If they don't get back to you, know that they're busy. Just stay after them, stay after them, stay after them. The key to get to anybody is your ability to do what everybody else is not willing to do so that you can get the reward that they're not willing to get. You have to find a mentor. You have to find somebody that's been where you want to be. If it's bareback riding, go to that guy right there. If it's calf roping, come to me. Go to somebody else. And understand that in the pursuit of that mentor, you're going to get no, you're going to get rejection. They're going to be busier than heck, but just stay persistent. And if that deal doesn't work out with that person, go to the next person, go to the next person, go to the next person. All they have to be is this much better than you. If they're this much better than you, then you can attach yourself to them, learn something, learn a skill, and then move on. What's the best way for failure coming back after an injury? No practice. Who said it? Okay, cool. So if we know that it takes practice to get back after an injury, would it not be intelligent to design this practice specifically to get the result that we want? What do we call that actually when we do that? Logan, what do we call that? Training or rehab? How in the hell come every time the doctor, they put together this rehab protocol, we do it, but then when we get back to our roping, our rodeoing, our riding, there's not a specific rehab training program that we have specifically for our riding that will allow us to go and get better. Example, I shattered this leg right here. I sawed it off right here. And guess what? I was lucky enough to shatter this ankle too. So it was in a million little pieces. They got to screw it all together from all sides. It was awesome, let me tell you. So when I decided that I was going to run off a horse going 25, 30 miles an hour again, I was like, oh man, is it going to hold up? I sure don't want to look down at my leg and see it sideways again. That wasn't fun. That sucked actually. It hurt really bad. I said, you know what? I'm going to build me a roping barrel. I call it a roping barrel. It's a stand barrel on it. 25 years ago, we didn't have a lot of that kind of stuff. There was like no training aids. So I built one. I get on it and I would swing my leg over and step down perfectly every time. I would compartmentalize that one movement within my practice, and I would do it over and over and over and over and over. When you come back from injury, you got to train so hard that muscle memory takes over, not your negative thought of what happened to you. 100 a day, 200 a day. Because believe it or not, the way you get off a calf horse going 900 miles an hour is kind of important if you don't want to explode your knee or your ankle. The mental work, the planning, the organizing your life starts far before you're ever even healed. Start organizing your life and planning when your workout is going to be. Don't wait till you're clear to say, oh, well, now I got to find time to go to physio, or now I got to find time to do this. And the other thing is, when you're injured is the perfect time to improve other things. If you're trying to get a more sculpted body, if you're trying to work on flexibility, you can work on so many other things that will increase the resistance muscle right here that will help you when you're healed and time to go. So many times we say, oh man, when I get healed, then I'm going to go do this. No. That's not how world champions think. While I'm injured, what else can I be doing to train myself to get me back to 100% faster? Don't wait. Matter of fact, never wait on anything. Go get it. Plan, strategize, organize. You're coming back from the injury. You could be working on your diet. You could be working out your upper body. You could be working on your mindset. You could be making runs in your head over and over and over and over again. You could be working at judging the body style of steers, slender hips, round hips. How do they hit? If they don't hit, they drag a leg. How do I change in my catch? You could be working on all that stuff right here. See, when I snapped my leg, I had 7 months of rehab. Now, that's not till the bones were healed, but that was total rehab from 100% to 100%. I was working on it right here. Guess what I didn't do? I didn't sit on my ass and feel sorry for myself, ever. Because winners never feel sorry for themselves. They just find another way to keep crawling. Keep looking for the next opportunity. And if you put in that level of effort with strategic thinking, when you come back, you will find that you will actually be better than before you got injured. The things that you can control, you must control. You can control your effort, you can control your attitude, you can control your mind. A mentally tough human being and winner in rodeo, there's only 2 things: mastering the mechanics and mastering the mind. You do that, you'll be one of the greatest champions in the world. So the next question is, well, how do I do that? Break it down. Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4, plan, strategize, have a vision for your life. You should be focused on being the best human being that you can, believing in yourself, focusing on your craft, being the greatest representative of this program that you can possibly be, rewarding the effort, not the outcome. If you get injured or hurt or something happens, we're in rodeo, it's going to happen. You talk about what you can do, what you will do, what you must do. I love watching Dusty Toughness. He's arguably the greatest bullfighter in history. I've seen that dude get wrecked out in, multiple perf rodeos. I'll see the dude at like 10 a.m. the next morning after a perf. He might be going out for a 3-mile run limping. Dusty is always focused on what he needs to do to optimize his body. The guy doesn't carry an ounce of fat as a bullfighter. He is so focused. He may not be the laugh, joke, ha-ha, whatever. He's really focused at what he wants. But it's been insane to see him break ribs, get hurt, get hooked out. And the next morning, when everybody else is just chilling, he's out running. Blows my mind. That's somebody who comes back from injury, focused on what they're going to do. And we call it redemption. It's like when you don't have 2 or 3 good rodeos, but you know you're capable of more, and then you come out and you crush it. God, Lord Jesus, that feels great, doesn't it? It feels amazing. Go do it. So there's multiple different types of personalities. I'm a very active, fast thinker. I think through every scenario that could possibly happen. It's very easy for me to overthink and to carry losses forward. Understand that these 2 personality traits go hand to hand. The key to eradicating darkness is shedding light on it. Understand, why do I have this behavior? Okay, my mom's that way. My dad's that way. It's bred into me. That's how I am. Okay, cool. No big deal. Now, how do I hedge against it? If we're overthinking, that probably comes from a very analytical person. Coulda, woulda, shoulda, what if? Coulda, woulda, shoulda, what if only plays into your mind as a negative anchor. So overthinking it, how we do that is we recognize these things. I could have done better. I should have done better. What if I did this? Or what if this happens? What if I get hurt again? Understand these sentences. Has anybody ever said those sentences to yourself? Now, those sentences are going to pop in your head all the time, but it's your job to recognize when they happen. I say, no, I have in my brain called an NTR, negative thought recognition system. So the moment I notice a negative thought popping in, I kick it out with a more powerful positive thought. Tyson, you're going to break your leg again. Nope. I'm going to think about the day that I saw my wife walking down the aisle and how incredibly beautiful that she is. That's what I'm thinking about. Okay, 5 more minutes. Tyson, what if your horse gets hurt again? What if your horse dies? 2 good horses die right in my prime. One I won a world championship on, one I knocked on the door for a world championship. They both died in the prime of their career. What if your horse dies? Nope. I'm going to think about in the 10th go around when I won the world championship and I held the buckle up to the sky and said, this is 2 dreams achieved, mine and my dad's. You have to replace that negative thought with a more powerful emotion. Now, this is work. This is not easy. You have to have a toolbox full of great memories, full of great things that have happened to you. I call it a toolbox because literally it's a mental toolbox. I call it RTR, rapid thought replacement, but I replace it with a more powerful thought. Kick it out of your head. Think about how it's going to feel when you call your mom and dad or your best friend or your cousin and tell them about how you were 87 in the bull riding, how you won the barrel racing, how good you did in the calf roping. Think about that stuff. It's all about serving your future. Carrying your losses forward and an overactive mind go hand in hand. Now, what I just taught you, if you will use it, if you wrote it down, will help you if you have an overactive mind. Hey, if you're a rodeo athlete and you're struggling maybe with your mindset or your mental toughness and you want to go to the next level with the way you believe in yourself, with your actions, with how you compete at the rodeo, go ahead and check out the thing I call the Cowboy Challenge down in the description below. It's helped me. It's helped transform me. It's helped push me to the next level, just like I know it will do for you. Take care and get back to the video. Can any of you ever feel when momentum starts to shift against you when you're competing? You go to 2 or 3 rodeos, it goes great. We're doing awesome. We're winning. Things are going right. And then you break a barrier. You buck off at 7.9. Something happens, right? You can begin to feel the momentum starting to shift. And then the oh no's, the what ifs, all this stuff starts to creep in. Get it out of your head. That what we focus on attracts to us. I keep reiterating this because it's so important. I did not understand this or know this when I was your age. I learned this at about 30. At about 30 years old, I went to a whole nother level in my rodeo career because I could begin to feel momentum moving away from me or towards me, like a rope pulling me one direction. I could literally feel it. Say I do good 2-3 rodeos in a row, then I make a short go and I break the barrier in a short go. What I do now is when I feel that anxiety start to build inside me, the momentum pulling me away from my norm, my focus, what do I do to get it back? What do I do to get it back? I go back to basics. A champion and a winner, gold buckle holders, the guys that really know what they're doing, they are so focused on the mechanics and on the basics that there is no other outcome. Sage Kimsey is a prime example. Sage is one of my good friends. And I love Sage because he's a bull rider. He's incredibly intelligent. He believes in himself. But that man masters the mechanics of bull riding. He knows where everything's supposed to be all the time, and most of the time, he gets to pick his exit. Whoa. Wouldn't that be awesome if you got to pick your exit all the time? What I'm telling you is if you feel that starting to slip away from you, go back to basics. Now, within going back to the basics, you're going to have your parents saying, you should have done this. You're going to have your coach saying, you should have done this. And they're right. But you need to listen to your heart. Practice the fundamentals. I know the fundamentals aren't cool. I know it's not super cool to, hey, I'm not going to the bar tonight. I'm not going to go hang out. I'm going to go to the spur board. Instead, I'm not going to go hang out with these guys and smoke this dope and do whatever it is, the cool thing. Instead, I'm going to go rope the dummy. Instead, I'm going to go work my barrel horse. Instead, I'm going to do this. The mechanics will set you free. The basics will set you free. Only 2 things becoming a champion. Number 1 is the mechanics. Number 2 is the mindset. And you should never stop working on both of those. Ever. What are we going to do if we feel momentum starting to slip away from us and we're not winning, we're not doing? What are we going to do? Say it out loud. Go back to basics. Go back to basics. Go back to basics. Work on this. All those times that I came in so close and failed, I think I would have gotten over the hump sooner. It's all right here because this stems to this. Momentum shifting away, go back to basics, work on your mindset. Go back to basics, work on your mindset. Somebody comes up to you, hey, I see you broke the barrier last week to win that rodeo. Oh, that sucks. Yeah, it's no big deal. I worked on my horse. We pick up a shoulder. I'm riding a little bit better. Let's go. That's all you got to do. Keep all the head games out. All the chirping from both ears, keep it out. Stay focused on the thing that you want. In 2008, there's a young man named Tough Cooper that comes on the scene in professional rodeo. Now, Tough is a very good friend of mine, and I love and respect Tough. He's awesome. We get along phenomenal now. But in the beginning, I thought him as a young hotshot trying to steal my territory because I lived in the backseat of my truck, and I put maxed out on credit cards. And I see this young guy that's like 5, 6, 7 years younger than me that is like way better than me. See, comparison trap is rooted in jealousy. Tough pops off on the scene. I think he won second in the world his first year and then won the world the next year. I'm like 26, at this time, and he's like 18. I'm like, I'm just pissed. Plus, he's got a tour bus with his logo and his beautiful picture of his beautiful smile and everything. I mean, it's all perfect. I looked at him like, this dude is perfect. I'm the redheaded stepchild. I was so jealous. I carried that jealousy. I never verbally ever said anything to him. It was only me. It was nothing to do with him because I just internalized, used it as motivation. The wrong type of motivation. But many years later, he moves in as my next door neighbor in Weatherford, Texas. I don't even like the guy. He moves right beside me. I'm like, God, it's a sign. Okay, I'll invite him over. I'll go over to his house. So I go over to his house and he's got a cool house. Like, I always looked at Tough, I'm like, he's got it all. He's got the looks. He's got the team. He's got Trevor Brazil as his uncle. He's got Roy Cooper as his dad. Like, he has it all. And guess what? He utilized it. You can't blame a man for utilizing the tools that God gave him. And I came to that realization. And I used to say to myself, if I had that, I'd be here. If I had that horse, I'd be here. If I had that bus, I'd be here. If I had that guidance, I'd be here. Guess what? I didn't. And that if only pulled me down lower and lower and lower and lower and only elevated him. Now, this was all happening in my mind without him knowing about it at all. Understand, the moment that you start to compare yourself to other people, you're putting yourself in a lower state. You're putting yourself down. You're putting them up here on a pedestal like there's something amazing. And guess what? They got a couple arms, they got a couple legs, and they got a brain just like you. They're no different. So in 2014, he moves in as my next door neighbor. I'm like, come on. And his house is bigger than mine. It's like 3 times the size of mine, and it's super cool. And I was jealous about that. And I was like, hey man, you want to come over and rope sometime? He's like, yeah, dude. So he comes over and rope, and I'm like, and we flank and tie a little bit. He didn't bring a horse. We just flank and tie a little bit. Show him my place, Started talking. I'm like, man, he's a pretty cool guy. So then a week or two later, he's like, hey, man, you would come watch some NFR runs at my house? We'll break them down. And he's got like this garage. It's like a 10-car garage, insulated. It's got couches in the shop, like L couches with like big screen TV on the wall. And he just like sits on his couch, watches a run. He's got all his gym right behind the couch. So he would watch a run and then get off the couch and then work out and then go sit back on the couch and finish watching the run. And I was like, this is amazing. Like, this is freaking incredible. He's got it broke down so much. And through talking to him on the couch, I was like, hey, man. And I'd gotten saved. At that point, I started believing in Jesus. I'm not trying to tell you what you should believe, but I didn't believe in God for most of my life. At this point, I just found my faith. I got married. I was wanting to have a family. I said, hey, man, I got to tell you something. I'm not good at lying. I'm not good at like holding stuff in. I just want you to know that I've been jealous of you for like the last 7 years. And he didn't get emotional about it. He wasn't mean. He's like, really, man, tell me about that. He's like, why? I was like, well, you're just so good. And, you had all the sponsors, the team around you, and you had it all. And I had nothing. And I was just so jealous. And we talked about it for like 25 minutes. And that made us better friends. What if you opened up about your insecurities a little bit more and told people about them? How much stronger would that make you as a human being? We heal from the inside and out, not the outside in. What happens to your horse when something tries to heal from the outside and it's got an infection in it? It gets an abscess, doesn't it? And it breaks open. If you're struggling with the comparison trap, you don't have to go to the person. Listen, it took me like 6, 7 years to go tell the guy. That's a long time. But you might be able to tell somebody who's a trusted advisor, your best friend. Some of you actually like, man, I'm really struggling with this. Can you help me get a game plan to get through this? And they're going to say, if they're truly your friend, they're going to say, yeah, I'll help you with that. I implore you to surround yourself with people who will tell you the truth. See, your real friends will tell you the truth even when it hurts, but your fake friends will tell you what you want to hear knowing that they should have told you the truth. Comparison trap, recognize when it happens. Simply by recognizing what thoughts you have, what pops in here, simply just by recognizing it, it gives you so much power than just reacting. Just understanding what pops in. Because if you even just think about it, then you can plan how you're going to react. And it's not an emotional reaction. It's a calculated reaction. Who struggles with consistency winning? Number one, the best rodeo athletes on planet Earth win 50% of the rodeos that they compete in. And a lot of those rodeos that they compete in are multiple headers, at least in the timed events. So my win percentage per run of competition is about 35, 40%. That's a lot of failure. Now we see on the Cowboy channel, you maybe even have seen me or other guys or Stetson or whomever. Man, they're winning every time. They're winning every time. Again, that's the highlight trap. That's the highlight reel. That's it. That's the Instagram post. Nobody ever brings anybody on the Cowboy channel or posts to social media about how they just hit 26 and didn't win something. My personal goal, as far as not winning in professional rodeos, 26 rodeos in a row, some of those were more than one head. When you're facing problems with consistency, you work on mechanics and you mitigate emotion. Work on the mechanics over and over and over and over and over, and then you'll get exhausted. And then you'll work on the mechanics over and over and over and over and over, and then you'll get exhausted. And then just do it again. Over and over and over and over and over again. One of the reasons I was, for a long time, was one of the best guys on the ground is because when I would wake up in the morning before school, the first thing I would do is I would go string a calf to the post and I would flank and tie by myself for an hour and a half prior to then feeding the horses and then riding 2 outside horses and then go to school. I would string them up and I would go tie and I would do it over and over and over again. And then I would get a video camera and I'd prop it on a barrel. This is 25 years ago. So they were expensive back in the day. Cameras were expensive when they first came out. Some of you understand what I'm talking about here. I would set it on a 55-gallon drum and I would video myself over and over and over. Oh, that's not how Roy Cooper would do it. Oh, that's not how Brent Lewis would do it. And I would do it over and over and over. I'm talking, no joke, probably thousands of hours. You see, because I don't want to get to the end of my life and realize that I could have, would have, should have been better. I can honestly stand here in front of you guys and tell you that I maximize my God-given ability. It's almost not possible to work harder than I did. It's just not possible. I've done it all. I was willing to work as hard physically. I was willing to put in more hours. I was willing to go bankrupt. I was willing to max out credit cards. I was willing to do everything, but I wouldn't ask people for help. That's the only thing I wouldn't do. Now, you don't have to work as hard as I did to be as successful as I am. Time collapse off other people's knowledge. Utilize other people's knowledge. That way your journey isn't as long as hard as mine. My journey was like this. Yours can be a little bit more like this. The talk I'm giving you today, I never got. The mindset stuff didn't exist when I was a kid. The really famous guys when I was young were incredibly selfish. They didn't spend any time with the younger guys. And if it was, hey, go get my horse and saddle him. Hey, y'all, don't forget there's a ton of free stuff in the description below. If you want to get to know more about me, follow me on Instagram, on Facebook, on any of your favorite social media platforms. Check the description below because I can't wait to serve you on other forms of content. Number one, 3 hours early, I saddled my horse. Just get in my zone. I'd be focused on my run. What I want to do, I would envision the calf going left. I'd envision the calf going right. I'd envision the calf running hard or going slow. I would visualize myself nailing the berry, being perfect on the start, placing my slack exactly where I wanted it, flanking like a boss and tying like a champion, hands up, and then the visualization wouldn't stop. From there, I do the calf roper front to my horse, right? Because we all know calf ropers walk funny after they put their hands in the air. Get on my horse, right hand. Thank you, appreciate it, thank God. I go out to my truck. I call my wife, hey babe, we just won first. We just won first. Oh, that's awesome. My daughter hop on the phone. Dad, I'm so proud of you. I watched in the Cowboy channel. That was amazing. Oh, thanks, Mom. I love it. Thanks. Then I love my horse. I get my truck. I'd be excited to go to the next one, not pissed off. This is all happening in my brain prior to competition. Saddling my horse. It was really easy to do it earlier in my career because I wasn't known. Nobody knew me. I wasn't the Cowboy team. Now I'm a billboard. People, they come to me all the time. So then I had to learn how to compartmentalize. In my visualization, a 4-year-old kid comes up. Hey, Tyson, how you doing? Can we take a picture? Can I tell you about my rope horse? Can I tell you about... Yeah. 3-minute conversation. Boom. Locked in. Back in my zone. I don't allow anything to distract my mind. Not happening. Doesn't matter what happens. Doesn't matter if I got into a fight with somebody or we verbally yelled at each other or a kid comes up or a sponsor needs something or a phone call. It doesn't matter. Nothing can take my mind off what I want. This is your warrior mode right here. About an hour and a half ahead. You start game planning what needs to happen to capitalize on whatever you have drawn, whatever ground you may have, and the only outcome is money run. From there, I leave the office, People are like, that's Tyson again. He's smiling. Dude's a weirdo. But, I used to see these Christian guys. They come to rodeos all the time, and they'd always be smiling like, hi, how are you? Hi, how are you? I'm like, that dude's nuts. That guy's crazy, right? And then I turned into one. Like, what? Now I'm happy-go-lucky all the time. You know why? Because I don't want to go back to that barn. I don't want to go back to a life of lack, of worry, of stress, of negativity, of addiction. In my life, I've been addicted to a lot of stuff. I quit drinking and quit Jewing the night I won the world championship because I told God no kid would ever see me with a beard on my lips or chewing my mouth. And I finally did. Boy, I used to buy a can of chew at the gas station, leave the gas station, put a dip in and throw the rest of the can out the window. Say, I'm never doing that again. And the next morning after breakfast, I'd have to go back to the damn gas station and buy the can again. That was me, okay? There is nothing that's going to keep you away from winning. Go into battle mode. Keep your mind right. Whatever you got to do, it gets to money runs. From there, you take yourself to the arena. You get behind the bucket chute. You're getting your barrel horse ready, your ropes ready, your bull rope ready, whatever it is you do. You're focused on now the visualization of you competing with that animal only. In the beginning, it was all the animals and all the circumstances. Now it's just you and this one circumstance. If you're a barrel racer, it's what out on the ground are you? You now know, and you know earlier than this in pro rodeo, but you're first down on the ground, okay, I can ride a little bit more aggressive. The ground isn't as shifty. If you're last down on the ground, okay, now I know I'm last down there. I'm going to visualize this run being last down on the ground. I'm not going to be surprised that I was bottom of the ground. The moment you convince yourself that you can't win something because something else, that's a justification. Justification will always put you down. We don't justify anything. The closer you get to competition times, the more negative thoughts will start to pop into your head. For me, it was always when I was backing in the box. How we get the, what if you break the barrier? What if you break your leg? We have a $10,000 credit card payment. I don't have any money. Those were the ones that would pop in my head back in the box. And I would literally, I'd have my string in my mouth. You know, these cap ropers, your face looks really funny when you're picking strings in your mouth and it's like all the way at the back. And I would be like, no, like that. As I'm like trying to screw my hat on, trying not to let anybody see that I was talking to the negative emotions I was having in my head. At the time, I'm supposed to compete. But in 2007, I was barely an NFR qualifier. In 2008, I was one of the dominant figures. And it was all this. I learned how to take control of this. I visualize what I want. I kick out anything negative. I stay focused all the way up until my competition. And I rely on preparation, repetition to get me through the negative thoughts that always would pop into my head. Does everybody else pay your credit card? Does everybody else pay your entry fee? Does everybody else put the work in that you do to take care of your horse? Does everybody else have to go through the rehab of the injury that you had? My point is, their thoughts have no bearing on your life. Most of the time, they're going to be hypocritical anyway and not say anything to your face. So who gives a damn? This goes back to why, man. So much of what you guys are going to go through the next 10, 15, 20 years has to do with why you're doing it. My dad came into the barn one day. I was preparing for the NFR, my first NFR. Hey, Dad, what? Why do you look sad? I've never seen you sad. In my entire life, I've never seen you pissed off, and I've seen you like a stone. I've never seen you sad. He said, your stepmothers, we don't know if she could have cancer. And so, I don't know why, but I've always searched for outcomes, like how to fix the outcome. So I continue roping, riding the horse to see, doing all the stuff I do. The whole damn thing, like, how can I lift the spirits? How can I do this? How can I help it? How can I make a difference? And then finally, one time, it was like a light bulb popped off of my head. It was like, wear pink every time, pink shirt every time. They had just started Tough Enough to wear pink. There was like one day a week or something like that at the NFR. And I'm not sponsored by Wrangler or anything, but I was like, what if I just wore a bright pink shirt every single time? And I went to my stepmother and said, hey, I'm doing this for you. I'm going to wear the bright pink shirt for you only. That's it. And I noticed her and my dad's demeanor like start to change. She was down. She was sad. You know, thinking that she got cancer is a very big deal. And they found 2 grapefruit-sized tumors in her. So it was a very real thing. And she started to lift up. I was telling her, all right, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to wear a bright pink shirt every time I compete, and I'm going to donate 10% of my earnings this year to Susan G. Komen for the cure, or wherever you want me to. And it lifted her spirit. Night 1, the NFR, bright pink shirt. Hey, Dirk, you know, Why are you, it's not pink night? Oh man, it's all good. Night 2. There are 4 people. It's not pink night. Why are you working? Man, it's no, I'm just, doing it for my stepmother. Night 3, night 4, night 5, night 6, all through the 10 rounds. The only night that I fit in was the night that it was pink night, the professional rodeo. Now, you could say, gosh, it's weird to stand out and do something a little bit different. But I'm here to tell you guys, if you want to stand out and be a champion, you can never fit in. You will never be able to fit in. If you want to be the best in the world and you're just wanting to hang out with the guys and be normal, you're not going to be the best in the world. I got called gay. I got called every name in the book for wearing a bright pink shirt, but guess what? My why was so deep, I wasn't going to say no to my stepmother. Wasn't going to do it. It was for her, it's for my dad. Again, I want to do whatever it takes. Get done that year, I was actually kind of excited that I didn't have to wear a pink shirt anymore. I was doing it for her. Didn't have any sponsors back in the day. It was super easy, just swap shirts out. Get to Fort Worth, lady comes up. Hey, you helped me. Thank you. Gave me a hug. Go to Denver. Kid comes up, you helped my mom. Like, all right, cool. Kept happening over and over and over and over again. My why is so deep for this pink shirt. I don't care what anybody says. It doesn't matter to me. My why is so deep, it compels me to keep moving forward. It compels me to help people. You're not competing just for yourself. You're competing to inspire those around you that they can do it too. You guys will find out as you get older, the greatest gift that God has ever given is the ability to serve others and to help other people. This shirt is a reason to show up. And if you ever want to stand out, you have to define that for yourself, for your family, for your friends, in service of others. What I'm always doing, this is in service of others because, no offense, bareback riding, special rodeo is dying. Without the efforts of them, it will die. Committees are after it. Committees are after calf up too. It is what it is. We need more people that are willing to step up and serve. And I believe that each and every one of you can be that in your own version, in your own form. Does that have to be a bright pink shirt? Just be a service. Be willing to help people. I helped my enemies so many years. People I hated. You got to be perfect. You got to put in the effort. You got to have a strong why. Do not fit in. I beg you, do not fit in. If you fit in, you'll never stand out. A lot of that is nervousness and negative thoughts. And perfectionism, go back to basics. It's a negative thought, just like anything. NTR, negative thought recognition. Rapid thought, replace it with something that's so much more powerful. And understand that you don't have to be perfect to win the rodeo. How many times do we watch people not have a good ride and they win the rodeo, or a barrel horse blew up the barrel but still won it, or a calf roper messed his string up and still won the rodeo, or the bull rider was out of position the last 2 jumps and he still wins the rodeo. You don't have to be perfect to win. You gotta have a competition mindset. The perfectionism is just a justification to not be a badass. And you don't need the justification. You already are. Reward the effort, and the perfectionism will go away. Hey, thanks for watching the video. I truly appreciate it. I am here to serve. I am built to serve, and I want to help you go to the next level, whether it's your mindset, your mental toughness, your motivation, your pocketbook, all of that stuff. So do me a favor. If you have a concept or something you want me to cover and create a video on, go ahead and put it in the comments below, because I read and answer every single comment that comes in. My only goal is to serve you and to make you a more high-performing individual. And lastly, if you found value in this video, please like and subscribe to the channel, because it helps me get the message of the cowboy to more people. We'll see you soon. Adios.